Greetings everybody, so this is my review on Academy 7 by Anne Osterlund, and yes, I have been reading this book for some time now, at least 4 weeks I would say, but that was with a very large break in the middle of that reading, because as I said previously, I have been in a real funk with all my books lately, and it's been a muddle thing. Anywhoozles, I got this book about a month and a half ago while I was in Sydney at Basement Books. It was very cheap. It was $2. Woo! And I'd wanted to read it for a while because I thought it looked interesting. It's a sci-fi romance thing, and I haven't read that many sci-fis, as I've said, in YA in particular, so that was why Across the Universe was notable as well, wherever the hell it is. Yes, and this was quite an okay book. It wasn't fantastic, but it certainly wasn't bad. I would probably give it, I was going to say 3.5, but it probably deserves a 4. 4 stars out of 5. It follows, now I'm going to butcher names here, so I apologise. It follows Erin, that's what I'm calling her, and Dane, and they are two young people with very different paths that are offered places at this Academy 7, which is considered the best school in the universe, literally, because this it takes place. Academy 7 resides on the planet of Academia, so it's an entire planet, I'm assuming, devoted to education. And these two come from very different worlds, of course, and both have quite dark, violent, unhappy pasts and lots of secrets that they're keeping. And they come to sort of, I guess, compete against one another a fair bit at the school, and both are very bright and passionate and quite driven. So yeah, they're sort of competitors and then kind of reluctantly friends, sort of, and a relationship of sorts develops out of that. And what I liked about the book was that the romance wasn't heavy-handed at all and not forced. It was very, very subtle and quite slight, and it was very sweet when it did occur, even though not much occurred at all, so don't be expecting this to be heavy on the love. Their relationship develops quite nicely, but it's a slow progression, and it really is essentially much more of a friendship camaraderie thing going on, and that was quite refreshing, because it wasn't, you know, they weren't falling at each other's feet the whole time, and it was good. And I empathised with both of the characters for once. You spend the most amount of time with them, even though there are some supporting characters and they have a place within the narrative, like their parents, for example, and that's all I'll say about that, because that links into a lot of revelations towards the end. But essentially, we pretty much spend our entire narrative time just with these two. That's about it. And the point of view shifts between the two of them. And yeah, I felt a fair amount of empathy for both of them, including Dane, so there, another YA dude that I didn't hate. I did feel a little more for Erin, I guess, because we do begin and end the novel with her. Do we? Yes, we do. She bookends the story. So I guess you kind of form a more instant connection with her. And I just liked her as a personality. She's pretty cool. Like Priscilla said in her review, which I'll link in the doobly-doo in my pants, she has really enviable computer hacking skills and combat fighting skills, so she can kick ass. But I mean, that's not something she's proud of. There is a quite horrible reason as to why she can kick ass. Yeah, lots of secrets are in this book, but what I found was that it kind of lacked a climax, kind of. I mean, there was a climactic event that occurred, but the reasons behind it and the motivations actually weren't that pressing. I mean, there were things you wanted answered and stuff, but it wasn't as though some huge event occurred and then this was the repercussion of that or anything. It was, I don't know, it just felt like it lacked some tension there. There was, like, you know, there was middling little tensions, but there wasn't anything that went boom and, you know, that was the big climactic moment of the novel or anything. So there's that. It's also, some of the storytelling was a little vague, I felt at times. I'm assuming that Anne Osterlund intends this to be the first in the series, because there's a lot more to go with the book. Hello, Ollie! Ollie's come in here. I assume, yeah, that she intends more novels to follow, but there were still some questions in my mind that seemed not to bother the characters, and yet things weren't making that much sense to me at times. Also, it's not that long and the writing's, not that small. So I would have liked more time. It suffers from what I'm beginning to call the Ash syndrome, which is where it's a really good premise and I'm enjoying the story, but I wish there was more detail and more time to spend with the characters and with the world, because this entire book takes place within the space of a year, and so much time is skipped over, and I just think, well, what were they doing in that time? I'd like to see what was going on, even though apparently nothing of importance was occurring, but I still would have liked to have spent some time there. But, I mean, if it is going to be the first in a series, as almost everything is, then hopefully more stuff will be answered in the future or explained or something. But I liked the universe, I mean, because it does go between a few different planets and they're quite interesting sounding. And I was liking the political bent that it had, so there was a fair amount of kind of social, political discussion that went on, especially because the two of them have a debate class together at Academy 7. I think it was a shame that there weren't supporting characters who actually featured that heavily in the book. But that said, I mean, it did afford you more time just to be with the two protagonists. I'm not sure, it just felt quite light on the, supporting character front. It's kind of like it was just a spotlight on these two and the rest of the stage was kind of murky. But I mean, it was enjoyable, and I did care about the two of them and their plight, and their relationship is very cute, and I think they work quite well together, so that's good. And I will say that Anne Osterlund's writing style is really beautiful. Some of the descriptions and the metaphors that she used were very evocative and lush and quite interesting. Some of the comparisons that were made, especially in describing location and things, because it takes place on different planets and whatnot. That was very nice. I liked that a lot. So yes, I shall give this novel 4 stars out of 5. I'm glad I finally finished it. And I'm still reading Eon by Alison Goodman, but I'm going to try and pick up a second book so that I'm reading and getting through stuff, hopefully. I need to break this funk. It's driving me mad. So Ollie and I are going to go have a nap now. It's so hot today, it's disgusting, and a storm is starting, I think, or a rain, a sun shower or something. Anywho, so yeah, 4 stars out of 5, Academy 7 by Anne Osterlund.